Galaxy Productions, tapping in with a new video. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. So in this video, man, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants and their potential for next season and how Daniel Jones is going to bounce back next year. So first, let's go over the pieces we added to the team, man. Let's go over those pieces that we added to the team. So we're going to mainly talk about the pieces who's going to actually make the 53-man roster. Because if I go through this list of players, like some of these guys won't even make the roster. So we're just going to discuss the main players who should obviously make the roster. We're not going to go through extra bodies the team added, to the team, for training camp reasons. We're not going to talk about those guys because 9 times out of 10, some of those guys will end up on a practice squad or they won't make the team. So let's start off with Brian Burns, man. We got Brian Burns in a trade with the Panthers. We sent them our 2024 second-round draft pick, number 39 in 2025, fifth-round selection. And Brian Burns, man, if you know Brian Burns, he's a great pass rusher. Great. He played 5 seasons with the Panthers. He had 46 sacks and was selected to the Pro Bowl 2 times in 2021 and 2022. So, he comes to a team where we had a low amount of sacks last year. We barely sacked the quarterback. So adding him to this D-line with Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeaux, man, it should definitely make our defensive line respectable, and it should make our defense better as a whole. All right, let's move on, man. We added offensive lineman Jon Runyan. I'm not even going to go through why we added him. We gave up so many sacks last year. DJ got injured. So, you guys should know why we added Jon Runyan. We also added Jermaine Illuminor, 6'4", 330, big body. He worked with Brasillo, with the, Brasillo, our offensive line coach. He's a new offensive line coach for this team. He was on the Raiders last year, and Jermaine Illuminor was on the Raiders. So they got that connection, they got that chemistry that they can bring right over to this team to help this O-line be more productive, man. All right, we added Devin Singletary as well. As everybody knows, Barkley's on the Eagles now. Barkley is on the Eagles, so we had to add a running back. Singletary's 9 times out of 10, he's going to be our starting running back. 9 times out of 10. We got Eric Gregg, we got Tyrone Tracy, and we got another guy, I forgot his name, Jashawn Corbin. So we got another running back, but 5 running backs not making a team. But Devin Singletary, man, I like him. He's a productive running back. He doesn't get injured that much. He played all 17 games last year. So that right there is good, Being available, especially for this team, it'll take you a long way. Because Barkley, I know Barkley, he's talented, man. I know he's talented. I know he's a great running back. I know that. But he was injured a lot, man. He was injured so much, man. And it's like so that's why we didn't give him that contract, man. Because it's like, all right, it's like you can't even, you don't play 17 games every season, Barkley. So why would we give you an extension when you're not going to play all 17 games? So I'm glad we added Singletary. He did just as good as Barkley last year. So it's like, I don't really think, a lot of people think it's going to be a downfall from Barkley to Singletary. Me, in my opinion, I honestly don't think so. I honestly think that Devin Singletary is going to have a decent season on the Giants next year, this upcoming season. We added Drew Lock. I'm not mad at adding Drew Lock, I know the reasons why we added Drew Lock. Daniel Jones, injury history. You never know what can happen during the year. You never know if Daniel Jones is going to get injured during the season. So adding Drew Lock, man, I like this move because Now we got two decent backup quarterbacks behind DJ. If he gets injured, we got Tommy DeVito. I heard he got a 1 year in with the system. He came in and did well with us last year, and we got Drew Lock, man. So I don't know who's going to be QB2. You know, we don't know that yet. You know, training camp didn't even start yet, so we don't know who's going to be QB2. But I like the fact that we added Drew Lock to this room, man. You know, we added a lot of O-linemen, man. Like I'm looking at a list right here, O-line. Yo, we added a lot of O-linemen, and I'm glad the GM made that his focal point because, man, we gave up sacks after sack last year. That Cowboy game, man, that first game was terrible, man. We gave up sack after sack after sack, and DJ was on his back every play. So I'm going to talk about another O-lineman we added. His name is Aaron Stinney. He was on Tampa Bay's Super Bowl team when they won. You know, he was on that team. He played with the Titans. He played with Titans in Tampa. So, you know, I'm never mad at us adding O-line bodies to the team because this team could take all the O-linemen they can, man, because it's one thing having a good starting line. You know, we got our original starting line with Andrew Thomas, you know, our main players who start on the line. But you want to have those backup bodies who's also productive, you know. You want to have backup linemen who can come in and play good. You know, you don't want to have those linemen where, all right, you throw them in the mix if one of your key guys get injured and they're giving up sacks. They don't know what they're doing. So I like the fact that we adding linemen who have experience, you know, just in case of injury. Another lineman, his name is Austin Schlotman. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he's another lineman we added. He played 67 games, 14 starts with the Broncos in Minnesota, 6'6", 300. So I like it. You know, but let's go over the rookie draft, man. You know, we added a lot of pieces, but let's go over this rookie draft, man. Of these players that we drafted. So first, man. You know who I gotta talk about first. Malik Nabers, man. Yo, I'm so excited that he on his team, man. Like, he's a number one weapon for DJ. That should open up the field for Darius Slayton. You know, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt. You know, I love this pick, man. I love it. Because you give Daniel Jones a weapon that he never had throughout his whole career. You know, when he made the playoffs 2 years ago, his number one weapon was Darius Slayton. I mean, you could make an argument that Isaiah Hodgins was, because in that playoff game, he played good too, but it was Darius Slayton, man. He was our number one weapon in 2022. And DJ made it happen with him. So now, you know, he got a target where he could throw the ball to, where you know Nabers is always open. Oh, look at his college highlights, man. He's always open. And that right there, that's going to draw attention because now you got to double him. And like I said, that's going to leave other guys open. Tyler Nubin, he's a safety out of Minnesota. I love this pick right here because Xavier McKinney is not back on the team. He's on Green Bay now. So you add a guy like Tyler Nubin, who was projected as the best safety in his draft. You know, a lot of people say that he's the best safety in this draft class. So I'm happy about it. I'm happy that he's on the Giants. You know, I think he's a great player. He led Minnesota in interceptions at college. He led that team in picks. So he's good at reading quarterbacks. He's good at, you know, making plays, man. He's good at it. We added Drew Phillips, a corner. And I'm happy about, I love this pick, Drew Phillips, man. I love it. Because Dory Jackson is not on the team no more. He's a free agent. And, you know, you want to get young talent who has upside. you know. Now, I don't know if he's going to be the starting corner or not. I don't know who's going to be the starting corner. It might be Cordell Flott. It might be him. I don't know who's going to be. But, he might start because he could play slot corner, so. And you might put Cordell Flott on the outside. So, he might start for the team. I don't know yet because we're in this offseason process is still going on with the OTAs. And training camp didn't even start yet. So, I'm happy about this Drew Phillips pick, and I got a lot of faith in him. I think he's going to be a good player for us. All right, we got 3 more players left to discuss, and then we're going to talk about Daniel Jones, man. All right, Theo Johnson. He's a tight end out of Penn State. Man, this guy's he's huge, man. He's a big body. He's 6'6", man. About 240, I think. I don't know his exact weight, but he's a big body tight end. And I love this pick, man. I love it. Darren Waller, 9 times out of 10, he's going to retire. So, picking up a guy like Theo Johnson, when we already got Daniel Bellinger. I love this pick, man. I love it. Like, this guy, he's a huge body for DJ to throw the ball to. Like, you can't miss a tight end this big in the middle of the field. A 6'6" tight end. Like, no linebacker is going to be able to hold him. I don't think no linebacker is going to be able to hold him. I don't think no linebacker or any small DB is going to be able to hold this dude. He's just too big, man. And he's good at catching the ball. Watched a lot of his highlights at Penn State, and he was a good tight end, man. He has a lot of upside. A lot. So he should be a good piece for this team. Tyrone Tracy Jr. I think he's a running back out of Purdue, if I'm not mistaken. Running back out of Purdue. Tyrone Tracy, man. He's a good pickup. Now the thing with him was, people are saying, he's already, I think 24 years old. I think he's 25 already. So it's like, people was like, he's already an older running back as a rookie. But what people don't know is, in college, he didn't get a lot of wear and tear playing running back. He played wide receiver in college throughout his career, mainly. He played running back his last season. So he doesn't have a lot of reps at running back. So, and he's a great running back. He did good his one season playing running back. And he has a wide receiver background. So now we could put him in a mix to catch the ball out of the backfield like we had with Barkley. And Barkley, I don't think Barkley has a wide receiver background, so this dude does. So he should be a nice piece for this team, a nice piece of the running back room. I like Tracy Jr. I like that he's on his team, and I like that he has a wide receiver background because now you get him involved in the passing game. So Tyrone Tracy Jr., running back out of Purdue. All right, our last pick was linebacker Darius Muasau. I think he came out of UCLA, I think. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, correct me down low in the comments. When we picked him, I was a little confused when we picked him because obviously we got Bobby O, our number 1 linebacker on the team, and we got Micah McFadden. Those are our 2 starting linebackers. So it's like, I don't know how we're going to use Darius Muasau on the team. Maybe he'll be a special teams guy. I don't know. But I did watch his tape, and he's a great linebacker, man. He's a great linebacker. I like that we have him for a depth piece. Just in case, Bobby O or Micah gets injured. You just never know. It's football. Injuries happen. So I like the fact that we have him on the team. We still got Darian Beavers. So we got some decent linebackers, decent backup linebackers. All right, man. Now let's talk about Daniel Jones, man. Let's talk about DJ now. Let's have this discussion, man. So last year, man, Daniel Jones got injured in that Raiders game. Everybody know he dropped back, injured his ACL, was taken out the game, injured for the rest of his year. At that point in time last year when he got injured, so many Giants fans turned their back on him, man. And I'm the one Giants fan who didn't. everybody was like, we got to draft Caleb Williams. We got to draft Drake May. We got to try to get Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy. And I'm sitting here like, y'all fans really switch up that fast? After he had a decent season in 2022? Now, people will say, they beat a Vikings team who had a bad defense and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I understand that. But if you go back and look at that Vikings team and look at the wins they got during the regular season in 2022, they beat some good teams that year during the regular season. So I don't want to hear the fact that, they had a bad defense. Because they beat some good teams. So, I think he's going to bounce back this year, man. He got the pieces around him. He got a number one weapon now. Joe Schoen beefed up the O-line to get that O-line to be a better O-line next year. And to me, everything falls on the O-line, man. I know a lot of people be like, it falls on DJ. To me, it falls on the O-line, man. Because if they can't protect him, how is he going to be a productive QB? Now, I do have faith in our offensive line coach, Carmen Bracilla. I think he's going to make this O-line a way better O-line than it was last year. So I'm not really worried about that. But like I said, that right there, that the O-line is what, it's basically the head of the snake, basically. If that O-line isn't playing right, DJ won't play right. Neighbors won't be able to get good production. Jalen Hyatt won't be able to get good production. So, I still got my faith and trust in Daniel Jones, man. I really do. I think he's going to bounce back next year. I think he's going to have a great season. And I think the Giants are going to make the playoffs. I see a lot of OTAs, photos of him. He's wearing a leg sleeve right now. He's growing a beard out. Hey, maybe bearded Danny Doms might be where it's at. Maybe bearded Danny might take us to the playoffs. We never seen a bearded Daniel Jones. We never seen Daniel Jones with a beard. So maybe this new bearded Daniel Jones look, maybe this might be a sign that, I'm just having hope for the team, man. I don't know, but bearded DJ might be that. He might be him next season. And I got faith in him. I think he's going to definitely bounce back. He showed that he could get us a playoff win. And it's crazy because people say he was ranked the worst starting quarterback heading into the season. And so all the hate he gets is crazy, man. So for me, it's like, hey, you got to go out there and prove people wrong, man. And I'm going to be right there rooting for you. So yeah, man, I think Daniel Jones definitely will have a bounce back season. He will lead this team to the playoffs. I will speak it into existence. It's going to happen. Our team is better. Our defense is better. The offense should be better. All right, so let's go over this regular season schedule, man. Let's go over this regular season schedule. I'm not going to make no predictions on it, but we're just going to go over the teams we got to play this year. All right, so in week 1, we play the Vikings. That's a winnable game. Definitely a winnable game. They're going to have, most likely, J.D. McCarthy's going to be the starter. I don't know. It might be Sam Darnold. I don't know. But this is a winnable game. Week 2, we got Washington Commanders. Now, that's definitely a winnable game. I know they got Jaden Daniels. I know, they add the pieces. But let's be real here. The Giants are a better team. They're a better overall team than the Commanders. Now, here's where the schedule gets tricky. Because we go from Washington all the way to Cleveland to play the Browns in week 3. Is that a winnable game for us? Yes, it is. Because, yes, the Browns have a good defense. But you seen the offense last year, with Deshaun Watson as a quarterback. They wasn't really making noise on offense. They didn't really start making noise till Joe Flacco came in as a backup and played better than their starting quarterback Watson. So that's a winnable game to me because even though they have a great defense, it's, you got to put up points in this league to win games. And that's a road game, Cleveland. All right, week 4, we go back home to East Rutherford to play the Cowboys. Now, everybody know how I feel about the Cowboys, man. I really hate this team. I hope we beat them. I hope we at least split with them this year because I'm tired of losing to the Cowboys, man. It's annoying. I'm sick of it. And this year, we just do now. We just overdue now. Yo, we lose to the Cowboys so much that we're just overdue to beat them. That's just how it is. Like, same thing with the Eagles. The Eagles are spanking us so much, beating us so much, but guess what? We finally got our one victory over them last year in the last game of the season. So, this Cowboy game could go either way. I think we're going to be more competitive when we play them this year, and it's going to show out there. It's going to show. Week 5, we play Seattle. Week 6, Cincinnati. Week 7, Philly. Week 8, we play the Steelers. Week 9, we play Washington. Week 10, we play the Panthers. Week 11, we play Tampa Bay. Week 12, we play the Cowboys. Week 13, Saints. Week 14, Ravens. Week 15, Falcons. Week 16, Colts. And Week 17, our last game of the year, is against Philly. Now, a lot of people will say this schedule is rough. I disagree. I don't think this schedule is as bad as it was compared to last year's schedule. Last year's schedule had way, way better teams on our schedule than this year. We had to play Buffalo. We had to play, we had to play some hard teams, man. Last year was rough. It was bad. Now, this schedule right here, I think we could at least win 9 games this year. Maybe 10. I'm pushing it. 10 is pushing it. I keep a sort of, I don't get my hopes up anymore when it comes to this team. Because last year I got my hopes up after we made that playoff game. And then we came up short last year. We came up way short. And I had so much excitement over last year's all season. So now this year, I'm going to stay more even-keeled and wait to see how the team looks instead of, just getting all excited. I'm excited about the players we added, but I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to be a good team because we got to show it. We had a bad year last year. We got to come out and show it. But as far as the schedule, I think the schedule is definitely easier. I think it's a lot of games up here we could win. I think we can possibly win 10 games, maybe 11 if things go right. But to me, 9 games, my prediction is that we're going to win 9 games. Now, I didn't say now when I started talking about the schedule, I didn't say I was going to predict any of these games. I just went over the games and who we play. My prediction as far as how many wins we're going to get, I think we're going to get 9 wins and make the playoffs. That's what I think we're going to do. Now, the NFC East hasn't had back-to-back winners, in a long time. Every year, someone different has been winning the NFC East. So you never know, man. This year, maybe it'd be our year. Because it's been Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys, Eagles. It's like, damn, the Giants, we don't ever win the division. So it's like, let's try to win that division at least. Let's try to push the Eagles and get them, the Eagles and the Cowboys, to run for their money, man. Because, every time we play the Cowboys, we make it easy for them. We don't put in effort, It's like every time we play them, they dominate. So I feel good about our chances against them this year. And like I said, man, my prediction is that we're going to win 9 games this year and make the playoffs. My prediction may be wrong, or we might lose more games, We might win more games. I don't know for sure, but that's why it's a prediction. It's my prediction. So yeah, man, that's the end of this video right here, man. I just wanted to talk about the New York Giants and how, they could bounce back next year and how Daniel Jones could bounce back as a quarterback and, lead this team to the playoffs. I have full faith in him that he can do it. I have full faith in Brian Daboll. I think he's a great coach. And I think this team is going to get back on track in 2024. So, yeah, man, that's about it. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe. And I'm out. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.